All right, we're going to ring in the new month with a batch of new books to add to our reading list, and we've got the perfect person to help us. Best-selling author Brad Thor has written more than 20 thrillers, 20 million books in print worldwide. His latest novel, Shadow of a Doubt, is out right now. Brad, it is good to see you again.
It's great to be back. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's dig right in. You've got The Chamber. This is a murder mystery set underwater?
It is. It is 6 very deep-sea divers that are down for a long time that have to decompress in a facility, kind of like a habit trail that's all pressurized. One of them turns up dead, and nobody knows who killed him. And when the second person turns up unconscious, there is this closed locker room mystery that takes off. And they can't open the door for 4 more days. This is a fabulous, exciting book.
Okay.
Really good.
It's like a murder mystery.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, the next one you say everyone's going to be talking about this fall.
This is the book of the fall. So this is Intermezzo. It is about 2 brothers. Their father dies, and it's how they overcome that grief. So one is a lawyer who's very jilted in Dublin. The other one is a socially awkward chess master. And they both have different women in their lives. And we start to see that, yes, your mileage may vary with grief, but it really depends on the people you surround yourself with, how you recover.
Okay.
This next one, a lot of folks are going to be excited about this. I mean, he's the king. He's the king of romance.
He is. So Nick Sparks, this is getting kind of the Notebook buzz. That this is going to be one of his absolute best. It's a great book about an Army Ranger who was raised by his grandparents, stayed in the Army, always moved, did lots of deployments, never knew his father. And his grandmother, who raised him, tells him his father's name and where he might be able to find him. And as he rolls into town, he meets a single mother who's a doctor. They start to have a relationship that buds. And there's hints of where his father might be, but the clock is ticking because he has to deploy. It is a great romance with a little bit of mystery in there.
Okay.
All right, screen adaptations, especially when they are based on a true story.
Yes, so this is what should have been an American success story that has a bit of a sad ending, but it's about a young man from Newark, New Jersey that was able to go to Yale, study biophysics, biochemistry, did very, very well in school at Yale, came back to teach at his old school. But his father had been arrested and imprisoned for a murder that he didn't believe his dad committed, and he worked hard to pay lawyers. And he sold drugs to get money to pay the lawyers. And he ended up, with all this great promise, he ended up dying when a bunch of bad guys invaded his drug lab. It sounds sad, and it is, but it's an amazing tale of America and resilience. And what does it mean to have a future just out of your grasp?
Wow,
great book, though.
Okay, this last one is centered around an app that hires strangers in unexpected ways.
Yeah, so this is Kat Tang's debut novel. This is what I'm currently reading. Actually, just finished, and it's fantastic. So you've got this guy. I liken him a little bit to Richard Gere in American Gigolo. He's handsome. He can be your wingman. He can be the best man at your wedding. You can take him home and tell mom and dad over Thanksgiving, this is the boyfriend I've been telling you about that lives in Canada. But he's wondering, who am I if I'm pretending to be all these other people? And when he has a client that starts digging into his background, it threatens all of these things that he thought he knew about himself and forces him to learn who he really is. And all the reviews have said this is one of the most interesting and original debut novels in years. And I highly agree with that.
That's a lot coming from you, who just finished his 23rd.
Yeah.
Where do we find America's favorite spy this time?
So a Russian intelligence officer has defected to Norway, and the CIA calls their top spy, Scott Harvath, and says, we need you to find out what he knows. And even better, Scott, your fiancé in Norwegian intelligence is debriefing him. We want you to listen in. And he refuses to do it. First time ever, he said, I won't go to bat for my country. And so they blackmail him. And so the whole story is about he and his Norwegian fiancé trying to get away from the Russians, trying to get away from the CIA, while at the same time trying to unravel the plot and save the United States.
You're so good.
Always.
Thank you, Brad.
Brad, it's always great to see you.
Good to see you all, too.
And for more of Brad's book picks, head to today.com/books.